Hey team, I'm Maddie. Welcome to Science Side Up, and today we are talking about how to read weather station data. Meteorologists have been consistently taking weather observations worldwide for over 100 years. And we're pretty good about sharing our information with each other. I'm looking at weather observations from a station in Nairobi or Moscow, and I want to know what in the world I'm looking at. We need to have some sort of standard for how we present data. The World Meteorological Organization is the group that maintains those standards, and what we're going to look at today is what a standard station plot should look like. I'm going to draw a couple examples of what station data could look like here on the board, and then we'll go through each piece of that step by step. Let's start with wind speed and direction. We learned this in the last video. So the circle is the tip of an arrow for showing you where the winds are coming from. So these winds are coming from the southeast, moving towards the northwest. These winds are going the other way, from the northwest to the southeast. And wind speed is indicated by my barbs. So a full barb is 10 knots, a half barb is 5. So these winds are 25 knots. This guy has a flag. A flag is 50 knots. Think of those as like tally marks, right? We're gonna group groups of 5 together to save space. That's gonna be 60 knots. Very fast surface winds. Now notice we have this circle, and this one I have a quarter of it filled in, and on this one I have the whole thing filled in. That actually tells us about cloud cover. The sky at this station is completely cloudy, completely covered over. At this weather station, there's some clouds in the sky. About 25% of the sky has clouds. So that's winds and cloud cover. Now let's do temperature. Temperature is always in this upper left-hand corner, and it's written in Fahrenheit. I have to say, I'm surprised that the World Meteorological Organization standard isn't in Celsius, but every place I looked that had station data, it was in Fahrenheit, so I'm not quite sure if I'm just looking at Americanized sites, but these are in Fahrenheit. So the temperature at this station is 75, at this one is 42. The temperature directly below it is dew point temperature, and it's going to be here also in Fahrenheit. So this is 75 with a dew point of 62. This is 42 with a dew point of 41, probably explaining some of that dense cloud cover there. If we keep moving counterclockwise, we'll get to these numbers. This is plus 12 minus 10. That is our pressure tendency, and it's in tenths of a millibar. So if I have plus 12, that means that in the last 3 hours, pressure at this point has gone up by 1.2 millibars. They left the decimal out. And for this guy, minus 10, that means the pressure has dropped by 1 millibar, 1.0. Getting to our last number is the continuing story of missing decimal points, and that is the 131 and the 981 number. These are actually pressure, but they're missing their first digit. So this guy corresponds to a pressure of 1013.1 millibar. And this guy corresponds to 998.1 millibar. In both cases, the leading digit is dropped, and so is the decimal point. So when you are decoding pressure station data, you have to add in the leading number, which will always be either a 9 or a 10. Now, average surface pressure across the whole globe is 1013-ish millibars. If the leading digit in the coded pressure is a 9 or an 8, then you know you have a missing 9 out front. On the other hand, if your leading digit is a 0, a 1, a 2, you know you're missing a 10. Then last but certainly not least is this little symbol here that I skipped. Now notice I don't have one here, but these symbols indicate what current weather is. Dots, for example, tell us that there is rain, and the more dots there are, the heavier the rain is. So this can be 2, 3, or 4 dots. If there were asterisks instead of dots, that would mean it was snowing, and the 3 tells me it's moderately snowing. There's a bunch of different symbols for this. My personal favorite is the one for thunderstorm, which looks like this, and if it's raining with the thunderstorm, then we put a dot above it. Linked below, there is a chart that will tell you all of the common weather symbols, as well as link to data from the National Weather Service that is showing station plots. So you can see what this data looks like when it's on a map. And if you want to, spend a little time reading the different station data, get a sense for how much information we managed to pack into this one little symbol. That about wraps up reading surface station plots. Okay, team, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, team.